Posting it in the shout box now. Draft order on the
Minnesota just draft Malone?
Yeah, he's rookie last year.
Wait, no, never mind. Minnesota made the trade for 34.
Okay, we're good.
Now.
We're good.
I think
I'll start the clock when you want me to. Or if Inspire is listening, you might need to.
We're live?
Yeah.
Luna, you're like cutting out. Your internet is like garbage or something.
I mean, there's nothing I can do about it, so.
Alright. Post the link in the chat box.
Yeah, I did that like several minutes ago. I said this like 3 times.
Uh, 22 NFLHC draft day 2. We're doing rounds 2 and 3 today, and on the clock, we just picked with the last pick yesterday, and they're up again. They just picked Deshaun Dockery, so they got their future running back. What do you guys think this could be?
Well, I know what it is.
I think it's going to be Miles Slater, personally.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't really know who else is available.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Did you start the clock?
I have Inspire lost to do. I think. I've hit start several times, not doing anything. So.
Doesn't look like it started.
Oh, it started.
There we go.
Alright, well, the time has already started at some point, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm sure you guys know who you're taking.
Yeah, they've had all day to think about it.
I'm surprised it didn't. This might be the first time it wasn't traded, and well, it may not have been traded last year, but I think like 3 or so in a row were traded.
Well, the pick right before it got traded, so maybe that's why this one didn't. Or I guess it still could be traded, technically.
We actually did acquire this one from the Giants. I believe it was earlier in the season.
No, I mean...
No, it was for
I mean, usually they're traded between the first and the second round.
Yeah, that's true.
With number 33 overall, 2022 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Alexander Burton, outside linebacker, LSU. Chargers are now on the clock. So we have a 78 taken before the last 81 is off the board.
That's kind of a reach, no?
Well, I can tell you why the Chargers traded down to the Vikings. Because they actually asked if we had offers for 33, and they mentioned that with 34 they were absolutely taking Burton. And I think they realized, hey, we wanted Burton.
Why is this guy like so overdrafted? I don't get
it. Consistency of LSU, 2-time All-American. Surprised he was a 78, really.
I mean, he was a 4.5 out of 4.5.
The Chargers, didn't they just trade this pick? It's not done on the interface yet.
Yeah, they just updated it. It's Vikings on the clock now.
Okay.
It was. I guess they didn't do the trade or on the interface until a second ago. Who did the Vikings want? They traded up.
My theory is Evan Grant.
Yeah,
They're going to running back.
that was my thought as well.
There's no starting running
A lot of
back.
people don't like him because of his combine, but if you looked at his pro day, I think it was pretty. And he had some issues and that may have affected his combine. So I wouldn't be surprised if a team takes a chance on him here early in the second.
So I know there's been some behind-the-scenes stuffs between the Texans, Vikings, and Chargers over Grant. Texans have wanted to trade up to snipe the Vikings the Bills and the Chargers. The Chargers didn't want to reach for him, which is partly why they traded down.
I'm surprised the Texans actually didn't take a running back yesterday.
They didn't.
Oh yeah, they
The one thing I'll note.
Oh, picks in. With the 34th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Evan Grant, running back, Georgia State. Buffalo's on the clock.
Yeah, no surprises there, really.
There we go. The one thing they will get from Grant, he did go over 2,000 yards last season in rushing.
Right, but he played against like the worst opponents probably that anybody will ever play against.
I mean, we're talking about the Sun Belt, so yes, that's very true. So.
And they
didn't have a coach for like half the year, didn't they?
Well, they had the XKL guy for like 8 games or something. And he started 1-6, I think.
Yeah,
that team should have like won.
I mean, he was essentially not throwing the ball ever and never changed the game plan.
Ideally, they should have swept the Sun Belt. Ideally, I think
they only finished like 3-4 or something, or I guess more than that, 4-5.
Well, Buffalo's got to be kind of pissed if they were trying to get Evan Grant here.
They probably got they probably got sniped.
Actually,
there's Ricky Vega and David Knox still, and Brendan Milton for people that were at the combine.
The Texans are apparently salty.
Yeah, they wanted Grant, and they knew Grant was wanted by a few other teams.
So the Texans
I wonder.
Get a running back.
I wonder how Evan Grant performed on the formula.
Oh God, that's like the kiss of death if that thing tells you you're good. Well, I'm assuming the Bills here are readjusting, so next up, right?
Yeah.
You can get my boy Ricky.
The Bills.
Vega.
I mean, they need a running back, but they also need wide receivers. So, and wait, they didn't take Kenny Justice Chargers?
Well, they took Chambers last year.
I would not be surprised if they tried out Kyle Cunningham here. It'd be a decent pick.
They took a cornerback in the first round last year.
Believe that. I'll need to check the wiki for that.
Sean Taylor, and he was like, "Oh, picks in." With the 35th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Kyle Cunningham, cornerback, Baylor. Bengals are now on the clock.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good pick. He had like a kind of odd pro day, but his combine was really good, and he's got really good size. I think he's not going to be like a Pro Bowl guy probably, but he'll be good enough to start for a while, I think.
I think it's a fair addition to the secondary. Yeah, nothing's
good. Yeah, in a division where you have Brian Brown, Wiegert, I guess they don't play against themselves, so no, don't worry about Matt Jones, but and Watkins. That's.
I think he'll definitely be in big divisional games. Like as you said, that division has a lot of elite talent. And I'd say it'd be a little bit of pressure on Cunningham, but I think it'd be good to get that kind of experience. So
Yeah. Did they draft Sean Taylor? I thought somebody else did.
No, they did.
Well, he was really not very good last year, if I recall. So maybe Cunningham will be their number 2, but who knows? Maybe he'll. I guess they'll battle it out in training camp probably.
I don't even know who their third or their old second is, so I'm assuming that they needed to upgrade this anyway. Bengals are on the clock. They selected Timothy Key yesterday. So I would expect this to be O-line this time around.
I'm looking at, assuming this is updated, the Bills' other corners before were Sean Taylor, who is 5'9", so he's like a really small corner compared to this guy. They also have DJ Reed.
Oh, DJ Reed.
Jim Malloy.
DJ Reed they just signed.
And Jim Malloy, who is terrible.
DJ Reed they gave a massive contract to in free agency from the Bengals.
Yeah, I don't know about that contract. It was kind of ridiculous for a not that good guy.
So now they have a first-round pick, a high second, and a major free agent signing as cornerbacks. And I'm not sure any of them are... Well, Cunningham, I guess we'll see. But the other two, not sold on.
Well, there is a certain number of linemen available, at least still at this point. A lot of guards, so...
The guards are all quite bad, I think. Or at least not for the top of the second. Like, Barney is like the clear favorite, and then most of these I think I have like a 3rd round grade on or worse. All the ones that went to the combine did not impress.
Right. Well, they're choices, so doesn't mean they're good choices. But...
Jumbo, you forgot. I didn't realize you were going to keep doing the discussion threads, but for Burton, you forgot Saints in the title.
Just traded up to this spot.
Really?
Wait, did they just... So they moved down like 7 spots and then up 2?
I'm confused.
Is that what just happened?
They moved down, and then they moved down from 34, and now they have 36. So I don't know where Minnesota was originally. I guess they were 42. They still have 42.
With the 36th pick of the 2022 draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Khalil Dennis, free safety, Vanderbilt. The Cardinals are now on the clock.
Well, they just traded for a strong safety, so they're going to go for, I guess... Dennis is okay. I don't think he's like amazing, but he can probably be a starter for a while. His combine was somewhat underwhelming, wasn't it?
Yeah, I looked at free safeties because that was my original need, and I had written them off all but Bowden really as starters. Dennis looked okay, but yeah, his combine was it wasn't terrible, but it was just not good.
Yeah, his shuttle was really bad.
Which I think might be an issue for a free safety.
Yeah.
Cardinals are on the clock, who have not picked since Yeldon yesterday. What did the Bengals get out of that trade?
Let me see.
One. So a high 4th rounder.
They gave just a 4th rounder for the... Wait, what did they give? They gave their old 2nd rounder and a 4th?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. Picks in. With the 37th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Shaq Turner, strong safety, Texas State. Houston Texans are now on the clock for the first time.
Did I have them as needing a safety?
I think he was the leading strong safety of this class.
Yeah, I did have them needing a strong safety in my needs for them. So I guess it makes sense. At this point, he's like an 82. That's pretty high rating for somebody in the second round.
I guess he dropped because he didn't have that many stats in a shitty conference, but at this point, I can't blame anybody for taking him, to be honest. It seems like great value.
It's good value. Really, that's about all I can say about strong safeties.
Yeah, his pro day grades were not that good either, but none of them were. So, but he did have like the best ones out of the strong safeties. So,
you guys
whatever, take that for what you will.
How do you do at his combine?
Okay. Looks pretty good. I mean, all the strong safeties were kind of underwhelming a little bit, but I think his combine was okay. Texans are up here. I just want to discuss before they pick really quick. Do you guys think that they take Vega or David Knox or Brendan? Milton's probably too high at this point, but they might otherwise find themselves in a situation where there's another run on running backs and they're out of luck again for another year.
I could see them going for Knox, maybe, if they really want a running back, but I don't really like Vega very much myself. I think he's just going to be like a rotational guy at best in the NFL.
I think Vega was kind of used wrong the last 2 years at Penn State. I think he's Penn State kind of relied on him as like a workhorse running back, and I think he's more like a change of pace guy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
And
Schefter, who was it? Mayock really liked David Knox too. I know that.
That Illinois team was awesome.
I don't think Rome is too fond of Vega. I just don't know if he's going to take Knox here.
Their combines are at least comparable, at least to a small amount. Like really.
Yeah, I guess if I had to guess, I say they take Knox, but if they're going to go for running back, but I mean they do have other needs. They don't really. I don't even think they have a second quarterback on their roster right now. Maybe they are just going to sign a UDFA.
I don't think they're going to draft with their first pick though. Their quarterback. They need a defensive end really bad.
Yeah, they also need a second defensive end. They have like nobody opposite Fulton, and they also need a center, but there's not really any centers left either. So maybe this is where that ADDE goes, or maybe they take the next one, who some people like.
I think this should be Slater probably if they're not going to overdraft a running. If they do take a running back, I think he's overdrafted at this point, but I think they may have to.
Does anyone know if the Houston runs a 3-4 or a 4-3? Because these Miles Slater is a 3-4 guy, and
Benton looks like
3-4. 4-3 looks like a 4-3 guy.
With the 38th pick, Houston Texans select Miles Slater, defensive end, Washington. I'm on the clock.
Yeah, pretty much what I expected if they weren't going to take a running back. So I guess that confirms they're running a 3-4.
Weren't the Texans some of the guys that were shitting on Slater?
Who wasn't shitting on Slater after pro days?
Ubada's write-up of his pro day was pretty devastating. His grades came in good, so it's like kind of nobody really has a clear read on him. And he had a decent enough combine. He's actually pretty good, but
was pretty good. Bench press is another statement, but he had a pretty decent combine. So
yeah, I mean there was clearly like a step down from the top 4 from him, but I mean
yeah,
it wasn't like horrible.
Right. I guess
You compare him to the other contained guys, he actually, because they're always like a little bit fast.
I wonder who Jacksonville is at least looking at towards, at least for the second round at this point.
They let me look at there. They need a wide receiver. They need a free safety, and they need a backup running back who they can actually rely on. Solo goes down.
They did acquire
So-
Dwayne Harden in the offseason, at least through free agency, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the answer, to be honest. I could see them maybe going for a backup running back here, but I would expect maybe a corner or a wide receiver. Let's see, what wide receivers are left?
None of the top four.
Yeah, I don't really love it. Maybe Marcus Holmes, like a combine warrior, but he could be pretty good in their offense.
I think he's the fastest receiver out of this current wide receiver class, too. So that'd be pretty good. Of course.
Yeah, we're probably looking at receiver.
Tyler White and Mike Miller are also
Picks
available.
With the 39th pick, Jacksonville Jaguars have selected Marcus Holmes, wide receiver, Tennessee.
Ooh.
Hawks are now on the clock.
Well, I thought they were going to draft a receiver here, and Marcus Holmes makes sense. He's
fast.
really, really fucking fast, and like he's not super big, but I mean, he can definitely be a solid number two.
For some reason, Seattle selected no one. Like, it skipped their pick. I don't know if this is an issue.
Pause it maybe and see what inspire.
I can't pause it. I can only end it.
Inspiral. Fix this.
It like instantly skipped them after I went.
Do we just continue and pretend that Seattle is picking right now?
Well, the problem is SF can pick, which is if they pick, then it's fucked. Like that's not fair.
Pick at this point.
Well, we don't know if they're actually.
What happened? I don't think we've ever had this before.
Trying to
Where
do
it says like the pick doesn't go
Trade.
through.
Well, the Seahawks are in the shout box right now, and they seem confused with what's going on.
It's a new one for sure. I guess it's kind of like Holmes. I think he's a little, I guess, under pro day. I think there's some good upside to him, and knowing Jacksonville needed a receiver, I think this is a home run pick of sorts.
Oh god. Oh, Inspiral. Nice, thanks. He reverted it like one pick. So Seahawks are now on the clock with a legitimate pick.
Thank you, and Spiral.
I wonder what happened. It was weird.
Thanks, and Spiral. You're the best.
Quick fix.
So, this is the Seahawks' first pick of a draft so far.
Oh wow.
Fortunately, their previous GM traded away their first for a quarterback who's not very good.
They really need wide receivers, like really bad.
They really took a gamble in that trade, and it did not pay off.
Oh man, they have a lot of holes actually. Well, I mean, Jarrett, I guess, is rebuilding the roster, so it's to be expected. They kind of need a quarterback. Maybe.
Well, they still, I think they re-signed Jerry. Evident that he's not really going to be the starting quarterback. He's not going to be their franchise QB. So, as far as quarterbacks, though, they do have a few options to pick from.
Quarterback is the play here, though.
I agree. I think receiver is a much bigger need after losing Jim Jam.
Well, they just took Josiah McCray in the first round, like a year or two ago.
I think it was the third.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think this guy's first at all.
All right. Well, he's their number one receiver, I think so.
Yeah, they only have 4 on their roster. Only one of them is older than like 2 years.
They have Settles from me, right? Who's like 5th year.
Settles is, yeah, it's his 5th year.
Yeah, he's okay. He just can't be a number one. I don't think.
They also have Jaheim Lemons.
Oh God, thirsting
Terrible.
for lemons. Never forget.
If strong safeties weren't so bad, I could see him taking one.
They're really bad though. Wait, don't they have
Here.
Antonio Oliver? Oh, they
I think
traded.
they also did.
Everyone talk. Sorry.
Go ahead, Selena.
They traded away Antonio Oliver today, right? To somebody else. I thought that guy was developing fairly okay. I guess they just didn't like him or didn't like his fit.
Traded them to the Browns. I think he was pretty good as a strong safety.
I think
Seahawks are about to run out of time.
I receiver here. Well, I don't like this position for him at all, but Tyler White maybe?
Yeah, I don't. Maybe they go guard. Their guards are kind of underwhelming, but they do have.
I'm not sure about Tyler White. I feel like that would be kind of a whelming pick. He's not the greatest, I don't think. Picks in. With the 40th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Tyler White, wide receiver, Penn State. San Francisco 49ers are now on the clock. Well then.
Yeah, I'm not super high on that pick, but they didn't really have a lot of options. Maybe it would have been smart to take a chance on Mike Miller, but
I don't really know about why. I mean, I didn't recruit him actually. I think I actually never had him. I think he was always GRE because I think he was JUCO, but he never did anything.
Well, the year they won the the last year they won the national championship, the second one. I think he had a really good season, but last year with their quarterback issues, he was just.
Well, the offense was like super predictable last year, so that was a problem.
Yeah, I mean, his was like okay. His vertical leap was like really bad. He one of the more agile and fast receivers, but I guess we'll see how he does. I think he's going to be like a number 2 on that team, which is probably
Maybe a slot receiver.
probably
He's only he's 156 pounds, which is kind of a problem at 6 feet.
well, this is like high
don't
school
see
weight,
it.
right?
Yeah, they don't. I think
Yeah.
the better way to look at it is compare it to other people instead of taking it for just the number. But he's still like the lightest.
All right, SF already picked. We didn't even talk about them.
It wasn't when I just refreshed it. Oh. The 41st pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Fletcher Joyner, guard, Utah. Chargers are on the clock again.
Trying to get some more protection for their quarterback. He had a really down year last year. Can't say that's a bad pick. Joyner, I think, was the second best.
Yeah, I think he was the second best. I think it's a little high still, but if you need a guard.
Looking at guards and this is the right move.
Pump is teasing that he's going to overdraft
More than the other
someone
guys,
with the
especially
next
Josh Jones, but it's good.
Again, Pump is teasing that he's
I think
going... Okay. Imposter's talking every time I talk, so...
These are on the clock again. Let's see, I think they might go for a tackle here. Who's the best one? Do people like Krause?
It's Allen, I think.
Mark Allen from Western
His combine
Michigan.
was worse, but his pro day was much better. Man, the tackles actually fall off really hard after the top 3. It's kind of crazy. This was kind of a terrible year to need a tackle.
I think there's like one or lower though.
Yeah, Bubata makes a good point. Brooks, the linebacker, is still available.
I'm a little
Cut out
shocked he
there. I
fell
didn't
out.
hear what you said.
I'm a little shocked Brooks fell out of first, in all honesty. I know we talked about it yesterday, but playing for Charlotte may have hurt his draft stock, even though it theoretically could have helped it. But if they go for an inside linebacker, Brooks is the clear choice, and I think it's a good pick.
The Chargers have Tunch, so I mean they don't really need him. Like,
Evidently, Pump is trying to trade this pick.
is he pulling at Browns? Just trying to trade down until he doesn't have anything.
Well, he just traded up a second ago. They just took Khalil Dennis after he traded his 4th-round pick to move up. I think he did, again, I brought this up, but he's teasing that he's going to overdraft someone with his next pick. So I'm fully expecting Sam Walsh.
Can we please do Walsh?
Chargers are about to run out of time. I think they're trying to find a trade partner. I'm not sure if anybody can get anything done this quickly.
Yeah, when the clock is only it's 5 minutes on round 2, right?
I mean, it's still a decent, and you have lead time. It's not like you need to wait until it's your pick to start.
Right. That what I'm saying is like you gotta start lining that shit up before your pick if you're trying to do that.
I mentioned they were looking at Burton earlier. They could probably go Jabari Fletcher since he's still on the board.
That's actually a pretty good pick. I had him as like a low 1st round. I'm surprised he's still around. Oh, Pixon. With the 42nd pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Anthony Krause, offensive tackle, Tennessee. Browns are now on the clock.
Yeah, they're just trying to rebuild that line, which is smart. You get sacked that many times. He's a run blocker, though, so maybe he'll be the right tackle. I don't know who their left is, though.
This is the 5th person that the Chargers have taken already?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I don't know how I feel about this from a player perspective. Because I do agree with rebuilding the line. I just don't know if Kraus is the pick.
I think it's fine.
I mean, I can see why they made the pick. Looking through their current roster, like that's a pretty old offensive line, or at least their tackle roster's pretty old at this point.
One of their guys, they transition tagged and he became unhappy. So, and the other tackle wouldn't refuse to resign with them.
With the 43rd overall pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Jabari Fletcher, outside linebacker, Texas. The Patriots are now on the clock.
Second outside linebacker to join McNamara from last year.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and that's pretty good value for their 43rd pick.
Their outside linebackers were actually fucking ancient like a year or two ago. I think they had people from like the original draft at both positions.
Yeah, they still have one of those guys. I think one of them retired.
I think this is a good outside linebacker pairing.
So upcoming picks, just for refreshing, are Patriots, Lions, Chargers again? No, they traded that with Cincinnati. So Bengals after this. Then Bears, Falcons, Ravens for the first time.
Oh man, the Ravens must not be happy because they were wanting to trade up for Holmes yesterday, and they wanted Slater to fall to them today.
The Patriots, I would be surprised if they don't go for Brooks here, right? Kieran Brooks?
Oh, yeah.
They have a history of linebackers with the name Brooks.
I thought they should have taken a linebacker yesterday, so I think that would be a great fit here.
Surely it's Brooks, right? Like, do they pass up on another linebacker again?
It could also be. Wait, who did they? Oh, they took the center, and who else yesterday?
It was center and shoot.
Oh, it was Davenport, the outside linebacker.
Yeah.
They could also take the running back, one of the running backs.
They do have Mark Craig. He's an 89, but he's 7 or 8 years in, and
that's pretty.
They have an 80 overall, the 4th-year guy from UCLA, Jack Cavazos.
Picks in with the 44th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft. The New England Patriots select Josh Jones, guard, Missouri. Lions are now on the clock. Picks in with the 45th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft. The Detroit Lions select Kyron Brooks, linebacker, Charlotte. Bengals are now on the clock.
That was the quickest fucking pick of the draft. They were like, run up to that podium as soon as they didn't take Brooks. Jeez.
I think they were sprinting at the podium.
I think the Lions are my favorite for the Super Bowl this year. This draft was amazing.
Really?
I'm being serious.
Are you not memeing?
No, I'm fucking being serious. If they fucking get their shit together and their quarterback doesn't die, they can easily win it.
I mean, looking at their picks so far, they've picked up prime talent.
Their receiving talent is a little lacking, I think, but they do have that. They have a bunch of younger guys that they just drafted, so that maybe they can build on it. Oh, by the way, Bengals are now on the clock. I don't know if I said that.
I think the Patriots are going to regret missing out on Brooks.
I can't believe I can't believe he fell. Like, as an 81, he fell to 45th. Do we have any? We have no other 81s left, right? I think that was it.
I think Seth Scott's still on the board.
Well, there's like kickers and fullbacks.
I think it's a 79 now. Or is
Okay,
he?
well, fullbacks don't count, and punters don't count, and kickers don't count, and returners don't count.
Yeah, Seth Scott's still on the board.
He's an 80.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he dropped his .1 in the scouting thing.
Oh, yeah, I had it reflected on one, but not the other.
So Bengals have only picked Tim Key so far. And they traded back for like an additional 4th rounder, which I'm not sure if that was worth it now, based on what's transpired.
Yeah, 2 guards went between those picks that they traded back from. So if they wanted a guard, then they kind of screwed up. Maybe they're just gonna try to build their defense, or maybe I wouldn't be surprised if they try to take a quarterback here because they didn't take Joel King's option, and that's Danger's pick. I don't think that bunk likes him. Question is, if it is a quarterback, who would they take? Because these guys that are available are kind of all around the same level. Like you got Jordan North, Will Chacko, who's a kind of an unknown, Andre Webb, Tucker Dowden, Mickey O'Black, Stephen Gore, maybe. Although he's the 77, so he's probably not going to be drafted this early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see they can, especially right now. No.
If it's quarterback, it's North or Chaco. I think.
The pick is in.
Sorry, I was updating the best names available list on the broadcast. Cincinnati has selected Kamari Cheatham, cornerback, NC State. The Bears are now on the clock.
Interesting.
That guy dropped a point, right?
He did.
Yes, sir. And we have his coach here to interview, so...
Cheatham's been weird. He didn't start doing much of anything until this season, and even then it wasn't that great. Sometimes he would put in good performances, other times he would get absolutely blasted. He's very inconsistent. Wasn't very high on him going into the draft. Was even less high on him after Pro Days stuff came out and he dropped a point. I don't know. I don't like the pick this early, but maybe this pans out.
I'm looking at his combine. Weird. He's 5'10", 221. Fucking heavy for a corner. But he only benched 6. He only benched 6. So he's just fat.
Yeah.
And you look at his 3-cone, it's way higher than anyone else.
Fat boy.
Like, he ran a decent 40. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not good either, but he's got
Thick.
I think, considering that, I mean, looking at the Bengals' current defensive back core, I just don't see how Cheatham could add on to this. Like, they have Blake Turner and Aaron Styles, but it's just, I don't think they'd bolster. I mean, there is depth, but
he seems like he could be a special teams guy, but he's second round. So
Yeah.
I
think
Go ahead.
Bubata put it best when he said Cheatham was like a strong safety disguising himself as a corner.
yeah, that might be right. What did his pro day say? What was he good at?
Gotta go back and find this.
All right, Chicago is on the clock. They took offensive tackle Chavez, right?
Yep.
In the first, and I think they need wide receivers that are young, for one, but they also really need outside linebackers. Morris Millen is getting up there, and he's probably really good outside linebackers available right now. kind of a run here in the late first, early second.
I mean, Jabari Fletcher was just taken, and pulling up the list right now, at least for linebackers.
Patrick Haynes would be the top one available, and while I'm interested in him, I think he could be a good coverage linebacker, but I just don't know if it's a good pick right now.
Patrick Haynes was like the defensive equivalent to Donald Culver at Utah. Like, it was just those two that willed their way to a championship.
An interesting pick if they do go that way.
Alright, intermediate break. I've discovered 6 of the best names I could find. If you could send me any more to add to the broadcast, I would appreciate it. I've discovered Tapco Brewer, which seems like a ridiculous name.
That is.
I feel like the man needs to be making beer. It's like a requirement. Micah Easter Holiday, which is ridiculous. But unfortunately he's a fullback, so we'll never see him making stat sheets. John.
Well, what about the Alabama fullback?
Oh, I don't know how to say his name, so please nobody draft him. John O'Donnell Beavers, always good. Campbell McMartin III, which sounds like a Republican candidate for some sort of office. Derrick Ogletree. And I don't even know what kind of first name this is. Ohayesa Steele. It looks like Oh Hell Yes is a first name. With the 47th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Patrick Haynes, outside linebacker, Utah. Falcons are now on the clock.
That's a good pick. I like him a lot.
I am a fan.
I was just kind of hoping he'd follow me, but I think that was kind of unrealistic.
Yeah, I don't think it was going that low. But, again, we mentioned somebody on the broadcast, and he gets chosen. It's like the claw from Toy Story.
And now they're moving on to a better place. Speaking of fun names, Bridges from BYU, I personally think it'd be funny if San Francisco were to pick them.
Let's go.
Golden Bridges is like the most Mormon name I can think of.
Atlanta's on the clock. They picked a quarterback, Donald Culver. Wonder what they're going to do here. They need a linebacker. They also need a defensive tackle. Maybe, I know they really don't like these guys, but maybe at this point it'd be okay to take a shot at like Marlon Bailey.
I think Ace of tackles. I know we spent a good time yesterday talking about him.
Inspiral says mention Brendan Milton, so somebody draft him. So I think Brendan Milton would be a great pick here.
I don't know who Brendan Milton is, but yes, please draft him.
He's
Yeah.
Purdue's running back. Who
Yeah.
It's like a 70.
Apparently, Tapco Brewer, the all-name inside linebacker, has the record for most interceptions for a linebacker. So somebody should totally draft him.
Interesting.
Please do draft him. I don't think we look at inside linebacker too hard here.
They could also go wide receiver. Their guys are kind of old. They have Riddick Smith still.
Falcons, have you
Woodall.
considered Brendan Milton with your draft pick?
Yeah. Got to give air to Keely Wallace. Ready?
With the 48th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Bradley Spurlock, cornerback, Kansas. The Ravens are now on the clock.
Well,
Interesting.
I really like that guy.
I had a gut feeling they were taking them, and I didn't want to say anything about it.
This was actually my alternative pick when it was my turn, like 10 picks ago.
Yeah, I was hoping it would fall to me, but obviously didn't happen.
I was absolutely ready to take him at 51.
He's got great size. He had a good combine. Pro day looked okay. I think he was a good pick. They've needed secondary help for years, and now with Wilburn getting like kind of slow, they really need to address this. I've brought this up in like the past 2 drafts, but seriously, Falcons, I think you should at some point consider moving Wilburn to free safety. I think
they have like the second best, one of the best free safeties. I meant
well,
like
you
first
can move
best.
one to strong safety and switch it up.
Looks like Spurlock had a decent season, at least. Just looking at his stats, 5 picks and 2
picks in. With the 49th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Lucas Benton, defensive end, Michigan. The Redskins are now on the clock.
They desperately need defensive end. I don't like it because I don't think this is a good scheme fit at all, but yeah, they seriously need defensive end.
Yeah, the guy's 5'10", by the way. It's pretty small.
Is the last defensive end that we've had, at least defensive ends that had a combine result, too.
Wow.
The draft is falling off quite quickly.
Wow, that guy is tiny, yeah, for a defensive end. That's crazy.
He does have the 3rd largest vertical leap, but I don't know if that will say much for a defensive end.
Buccaneers are upset. They wanted Benton.
Really?
Washington's on the clock. I think Washington's going to go with Knox. They're going to take him here. They really need a running back.
I think Brendan Milton should be considered for the pick here. Oh, we have the Saints coming up after this, and the Chiefs. Let's get a little run. What position has the best value at this point? With the quarterbacks actually coming back into value, I think.
Yeah.
We have North and Will Chaco and Heisman winner Dowden.
Our running back has a couple of good guys, so.
Alien, are you considering Jordan North for your pick? You love drafting your own players.
Definitely not. I'm not spending a 2nd-round pick on a quarterback.
Who's your backup right now?
David Oates.
Exactly. You're only keeping him so you can make Holland Oates jokes.
Pick is in.
It's with the 50th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft. The Washington Redskins select Angelo Denny, guard, UCLA. Saints are now on the clock.
Well, did not expect that. I don't like Denny at all. He also regressed one, right?
Yeah, he also had a terrible combine and a terrible pro day.
Yeah, those UCLA guards were fucking terrible.
Maybe it was because I don't know what position Darius Waters is, but he was opposite him at some point, either as a tight end, wide receiver, or guard.
I think Darius Waters played every position at some point in his career.
He did, actually. He played tackle, guard, center, tight end, and wide receiver all at one point. I believe he may even have played fullback near the end of his career once.
Looking at it, I think he would have been better as a fullback. Right. Lineman.
Let's see, what does New Orleans need after They took a running back. They need a defensive end, but they're probably pissed off that Benton and Slater both went before them. I would imagine that they really wanted Benton and they're pissed off at Baltimore, but there's not really anyone. There's not really anyone left at defensive end unless you're like taking a big risk on a guy in the second round that didn't even go to the combine.
We have a statement from the Bucks. Is the owner Dactor on the Lucas Benton pick? He said, "Quote: Both the Sam and the Buccaneers wanted Benton. He's terrible. Confirmed. Kill me." Upcoming picks: Saints, Chiefs, Steelers, Broncos, Chiefs again, and Rams. What is the second Chiefs pick from? Oh, it might be the Montgomery thing. Yeah, it's the Montgomery trade. So that was the Buccaneers pick originally. Or not Buccaneers, sorry, Cowboys.
Damn, Dallas is gonna have no receivers.
Well, they have Montgomery.
Yeah, one receiver. Okay.
And do they have Artemio? No, he's on the Panthers, right? I don't know who else they have. What happened to Kurt Hill? Did he retire or is he a free agent?
I believe I think they let him go. He's a free agent, I think.
And nobody signed him?
He's like wanting to retire, so probably.
Kurt Hill was a baller in 2013 for Miami. Saints are about to run out of time.
Pick it up, Coster.
Yep, 55 seconds left, I think.
After Benton went.
I didn't say he was the owner of the Bucks. I said he's the owner of the Ravens. Oh, apparently Darius Waters was also the backup cornerback, free safety, and strong safety, and the starting kick returner as a freshman.
That's who was coaching them? They should be banned.
So he played almost every position except D-line, linebacker, quarterback, and running back.
I'm trying to remember who coaches. I know D-Stack was at one point, and then...
No, he came in after that. I think D-Stack recruited him, and then there was like Okun Kwoko.
I remember him, yeah.
The Saints have 10 seconds left.
It's 10.
With the 51st pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Saints select Mike Miller, wide receiver, South Dakota State. Chiefs are now on the clock.
Mike Miller.
So before anything, we weren't really considering Lucas Benton. We really wanted Spurlock at this pick. And, well, that didn't happen. So we looked at receiver, eventually settled on Miller.
Jumbo, can you please change Lucas Benton name on the wiki from Lucas Milton back to Lucas Benton?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Lucas Milton Bradley.
Okay, question for the panel. Does Darius Waters get drafted?
No.
I believe he's, at this point, essentially Hackenberg. Like, he might be like more one of us than an actual player.
I say the 7th round for the memes.
Is it worth? I guess like the Chargers or somebody's probably going to draft him.
I don't think the Chargers have any more picks this draft. I know Pump responded to me in the chat box.
At all?
I mean, I did Control F on the NFL draft for 2022 in the wiki, and it stops after the 2nd round.
Wow, that's crazy. They traded all their late round picks.
What did they do with all their picks?
They traded them for players, I guess, but That's questionable.
I don't
Yeah.
like that, to be honest.
From his statement in the shop box, he has a full roster. He has to cut people from team needed impact players, not late round picks that I'd cut.
Okay. I don't think I've ever
So-
seen
When the training camp comes, they might end up being good players. So I think that's a dumb move.
I think it's not a great move either.
I mean, the trade-off is he gets a lot of high talent recruits. I mean, the con with this is he's going to have to pay them. So
So Chargers are officially done with the draft unless he trades back in.
The guys he was trading for are not exactly high talent. They're like marginal backups and maybe starters.
Wow, I actually can't believe that he traded all his. That's crazy. Who has this third pick? The first pick of the third round?
The Browns, according to the wiki.
yep. And then it's the Jaguars.
Oh, somebody told me Darius Waters is going to be Mr. Irrelevant. That's possible.
How
really-
fitting.
Will he really be Mr. Irrelevant when you've got some of these great names on the sidebar here?
I mean, Darius Waters has like replaced Jim Otto for offensive line meme.
Pick is in.
With the 52nd pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Miguel Vela, guard, Iowa. The Steelers are now on the clock.
That's kind of a reach, but
I think this is a big reach. And I don't think Bala's nearly that good to the other guards that were just taken.
I have actually no information on this guy at all, so I'll defer judgment. Did he, did anybody research him?
looking his
We were.
his pro day grades were good, but his combine was not very good, and maybe he's just a developable.
Doesn't he have really high
Developmental
locker room
guy,
or something? I remember you mentioning to me that Iowa players have like higher locker room or something.
It's one captain, so it's good. It's not amazing, but it's good. His pro day, I'm reading it right now. He didn't really have much going for him.
Inspiral says, guys, the Chargers know what they're doing. It's not like they pick top 10 every year.
Hey, it says Denver's on the clock, but I think the Steelers are supposed to be next.
It says Pittsburgh
It
pick
says
is
Pittsburgh's
in.
pick is in, yeah. With the 53rd pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, Pittsburgh Steelers select Riley McDonough, center, McNeese State. Broncos are now on the clock.
We needed a center.
Yeah, a lot of people thought you would take one in the first round. But
Granted, we were looking at Sutton immensely in the first round, and a few of the other receivers were picked right before us. That's when we opted to trade. Also, is my mic too loud?
No,
You're
it's
good.
not. I think
Okay.
in Spiral throwing random shade during the draft is like one of the best things. He's just lurking in the shadows and then randomly throws out like a one-liner.
How inspiring.
How inspiraling.
You could say the shot box is spiraling out of control.
Give it a few picks and it'll definitely be that way. So
We're getting to
All
the
of
point
cour-
where I fully expect somebody to take Sam Walsh.
I do think someone nabs him in the third round. I think
it might be the end of the second, to be honest. The Rams, maybe. They let Chamberlain go and like said that it's not worth paying kickers, and then their season got derailed by their kicker.
It's possible. If he does fall into a third, maybe pick him up.
Denver's pick is in.
Denver selects Mark Allen, tackle, Western Michigan. Chiefs are now on the clock.
This guy would.
No, go ahead.
This guy was ranked. It looks like he was 80. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
He's the last decent tackle, I think, that you could plug and play before it starts becoming developmental people, I think.
Looks about right.
I mean, I don't have too much opinion on this pick. Again, probably the last for just plugging in. We are now in the mid-50s, and none of these quarterbacks have gotten a glance yet, it seems.
All right. KC's on the clock, but they already picked a quarterback, so it's definitely not going to be one of those.
I mean, it could be, but I assume Kansas City is not ran by a Philly fan.
I think they're going to take Marlon Bailey. They really need one kind of desperately. They also tried to get Bob Ballard, but lost out on him. So
I feel like 10 teams try to get Bob Ballard.
I could see this being Bailey, yeah, or one of those defensive tackles. None of them are quite really great, which, I mean, we discussed this yesterday before Adcock was taken. But I guess it's decent value here, maybe?
I'm trying to see what else. They kind of need they need a quarterback. I think the Enmise thing would be to draft Will Chaco.
They just drafted a quarterback.
Yeah, they got Ryan Harris.
Yeah, they got Harris. Never mind. I forgot. Oh man, that would be fun to watch.
I thought that was going to be a Dean thing.
A Dean thing would be to draft Dowden.
Dean, what are your thoughts? If you're watching this,
I want to find out who drafts Andre Webb.
I don't think he gets drafted.
You think an 80 quarterback doesn't get drafted?
Didn't he move down to a? Oh wait, yeah, I thought he moved down to 79, but he's 80. You're right.
Bears apparently considered Mark Allen with their pick. Chiefs, you should consider Brendan Milton with this pick.
I've heard you're looking for a backup running back.
Hey, what's your boy Corey Mendoza doing?
I could see them trying to take a wide receiver here too. Maybe Hobbs or Ball. They like one of those guys. They're pretty similar.
I think we can start talking about Artavius Hopkins because that dude is kind of ridiculous for his overall. I'm sure he's going to get overdrafted at some point. I don't know if it's a good idea necessarily.
He's like 5'9" too, which is, I mean, so is Jarvis Ward, but
Well, Ward's better as a pro prospect.
yeah, clearly.
And Ward's not as thick.
We need to add a thickness factor to the sidebar of the draft broadcast next year. With the 55th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, Kansas City Chiefs select Daniel Hobbs, wide receiver, Missouri. Rams are now on the clock.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good pick for them. A lot of people don't like Hobbs, but I don't know why, really. I think he's like a D wide receiver too. They still don't really have a number one, but
I think
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think it was because Hobbs was essentially overtaken by Lattimore his senior year. Lattimore was the JUCO, right? I think he was.
Pick said. With the 56th pick, the Los Angeles Rams select David Knox, running back, Illinois. Panthers are now on the clock.
that's a really good pick.
I like that pick. Good for them.
Yeah, that's a really good pick.
Knox is interesting.
Mayock thought he was the third best running back in the draft.
They let Shakan go and Des, so yeah.
Yeah, they had had nothing there.
Isn't Flutie? Wait, is Flutie Flex on their team? No, he's not. He's on like the Buccaneers.
He's on the Chargers.
Or Chargers. Okay.
So what wide receiver is Skaggs gonna get to throw to this time?
I was thinking that too. It's gonna be a wide receiver. He gets one every year.
Darius Waters.
Artavius Hopkins.
Darius Waters.
You did just talk about him, so
Hopkins would totally be a Cade move
That's such
here.
a Cade pick, yeah, if it is Hopkins.
maybe it's gonna be Seth Scott. They don't really have a good free safety. They have a good strong safety, but their free safety is kind of like one of their worst positions.
They need to draft playoff wins for Skaggs.
Titans are announcing they're looking to trade down from 59.
Brendan Milton.
I wonder if the Giants are just trying to suck so that they can get Black next year.
Could I recommend Ethan Newby if you're looking for a running back? Dude's a workhorse.
I don't know if any of the other corners could potentially come into play. I feel like they'd be a bit of a reach, but they don't look too great on corner right now.
The one bad thing I gotta say about Ethan Newby is that his legs are essentially the equivalent of like a 35-year-old. He has had more carries in college than probably most NFL players in like their 5th year.
He actually, third most attempts, but also from last season, 320.
He's basically the Brandon Weeden of running backs. So therefore the Browns should draft him in the first round. Are the Panthers here? Because their time's about to
Them.
Humph makes a good point. I think, if this is correct, but Hobbs and Terrence Rogers both have character concerns, and now they're united in Kansas City.
Seattle traded up to this pick.
Ooh.
Oh, that's interesting.
They just picked
Quarterback.
Tyler White, right?
Quarterback.
Oh, this could totally be Jordan North.
The 57th overall pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Tyler Patino, free safety, Illinois. The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Huh.
The combine, I guess he won the combine after he was second place, runner up in the combine warrior
He had a really good combine.
Olympics. Yeah, this guy is like a freak athlete. Hopefully for them it'll translate into play on the field, but remains to be seen. Safeties are a lot of times like hard to evaluate with their stats in college because like we saw Seth Scott have an amazing year and then the next year completely fall off and do nothing. So
with the 58th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select DeMonte Green, offensive tackle, Illinois. The Titans are now on the clock.
wow, that's 3 Illinois players in a row.
That's weird.
That's insane. That's crazy.
I was going to jokingly suggest an Illinois player. I didn't think it happened.
All right, now that 3 Illinois players have been taken in a row, can we find a 4th? Titans, please don't let us down. Let's give Illinois that group bonus.
Peer pressure. Peer pressure.
Oh, Seahawks said they're going to start Greg Corbin next year, but Patino is the future. The slimmest reaper.
May I suggest Logan Holmes, the
Yes,
cornerback
please.
from Illinois?
What's his overall, like 74? Oh no, he's actually like one of the next up corners. Do it for the memes, Titans, please.
I also don't know if we discussed this, but the Panthers got the 70th pick, weird, and the 132nd pick, which is a 4th rounder for number 57.
Titans have 3 minutes left. Who have the Titans taken so far? They have selected... They took Tyrese Thompson.
I think that's it.
Oh, that's it, yeah. I think, didn't they... Oh, no, they haven't traded back. They need a running back. But I don't know if the current ones available are really worthwhile for them.
Yeah.
Can we suggest Brendan Milton?
I think Vega hasn't been picked yet.
Oh,
I don't think Vega fits their offense, though. I guess he kind of does, but he can't be the only person. I'm not sure I'd like that, but maybe.
Titans.
2 minutes left. Do they? I think they need. Well, I feel like everybody could use wide receivers. So, Sam Baugh is a 79. Nobody's really talked about him at all.
Yeah, he was a JUCO, only had 1 year, I think.
Went to Air Force. Wow, he's slow.
Cole from Georgia Tech still on the board. It's really, I don't think I'll need them, but
Are the 2 touchdown guys from Georgia Tech coming out next year?
yes, they are.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's gonna be the theme of next year's draft.
Touchdown.
Whispers. I can't wait to throw it to you. I can't wait to catch it from you. Live roleplay of the story.
Someone please link that in the shout box.
Is that the greatest thing ever written on this website?
I am very certain it is.
Storm Stopper in the shop box. I think they already came out.
Mm,
Hello?
Sorry, I was trying to find the story.
Oh, all good.
Okay. Oh, Tennessee has run out of time. The Jets are now on the clock. I think the Titans might not be here.
What are you doing?
Vlad is definitely here. I'm just
Oh yeah, he is here.
curious.
He was saying something. The man has become trapped in his own statistics.
I don't think defensive tackle's too bad a draw, but
Touchdown.
God, I can't wait for next year.
We have to bring back Trey to say offensive things on the broadcast. Some new people don't know him. Oh, the Raiders traded up with the Titans. Oh, that's why Alien's been gone. But the Jets are on the clock. Let's see, the trade was...
Thanks, Jarrett.
Alright, Pickett's in.
Fifth and a second. Oh, they traded up 5 spots for a fifth. The Raiders have selected Jameer Roll, tight end, Georgia Tech. Jets are now on the clock.
There you go.
Why did you feel the need to move up? Nobody after you needs a tight end.
I thought the Eagles might.
Oh.
I was worried about them. And I was also worried that you guys mentioned it on the broadcast so that he would be... someone else would trade up for him.
Classic. So much for Garrett Taylor, you fucking liar. Smoke screen.
We talked about that after the broadcast, not on the broadcast.
The Cardinals have traded up with the Jets.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
I love mid-round trading. It's always good.
But yeah, I actually was not expecting Roll to fall this far at all. I just kind of didn't like anyone else left, and I went up and got him.
With the 60th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Ricky Vega, running back, Penn State. Dolphins are now.
What the fuck are they doing?
Wait, what?
Wait. So...
Alright, I'm starting to think the Cardinals are trolling? Question mark?
Let me get this straight. They go into free agency and sign Chad Dess. Then with the 6th pick in the draft, they take Trevon Yeldon. And now they trade up to take Ricky Vega.
I actually don't even know what to say, to be honest.
I really question their front office right now.
With the 61st pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Sam Baugh, wide receiver, Air Force. The Packers are now on the clock.
I mean, I like the trade for the Jets, I guess. They get Eli Austin and Keith Hooks. But I don't know.
Wait, they traded Eli Austin?
Yeah, traded Eli Austin. For a while now.
They're going to run the 5 running back offense.
They do realize there's no triple option, right?
Cardinals playing this like it's Madden.
Help me make sense of things, please.
This
boy.
is next level Dean.
For the first time ever, I think the Shoutbox is like absolutely ripping apart a team. Maybe they really want black next year?
That or Solomon McLaughlin at this rate.
Yeah, just keep getting running backs.
What to say?
Can somebody from the Cardinals come on for an interview? I have so many questions.
I think Lamas is on the Cardinals. I don't know if he's a GM or a scout.
He is their GM, but let's remember he's also the guy that kind of like ruined the Vikings. So, well, not totally. They were kind of ruined before him, but he didn't make it any better.
Yeah. I guess.
I don't. I'm trying to think about like what they're doing, and I have. So why did they trade Eli Austin? Wasn't he like looking kind of okay? They've basically undone everything that Randy did last year, regardless of whether or not you agree or disagree with what they're doing. They've literally like completely undone the stuff that Randy set up, aside from the 3 first-rounders last year.
They get rid of Taylor. Who else do they get rid of? Half of the team? Yeah, looking at the roster right now, they still have Marcus Banks and Chambers, but Eli Austin, I think, was supposed to be the future for the Cardinals.
So they got a second and a sixth, or they got the Jets second and the Jets sixth for their second wide receiver and their starting defensive tackle. Or second defensive tackle.
It works out for the Jets. They needed a defensive tackle left, and they weren't going to take Adcock. They've been looking for a receiver for, I think, a season or two now.
Well, they need a third. Yeah, they need a third receiver.
The Jets need more help. The Cardinals don't need more help.
All right, I kind of like Gyret's hashtag for the suck for luck thing for next year. Fuck us for Marcus. Doesn't quite rhyme, but it's close.
Slack for black.
62nd overall pick of the 2022 NFL Draft. The Green Bay Packers select Artavius Hopkins, wide receiver, Arkansas State. Eagles are now on the clock.
He was going to go sometime soon. I guess that makes sense.
I mean, I guess of all people, I'd trust Inspiral with that guy's ability.
I just noticed Paper Llama's status for Cardinals draft trade needs today. Contact Culture. Llamas will be back tomorrow.
Okay. Was Culture here yesterday and aware that they took a running back?
He's the one that drafted running back yesterday.
Okay, I honestly don't know anymore then.
Also, the Llamas thing was for the draft yesterday. Llamas should be around right now.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, is Llama's aware that they took a running back yesterday?
Philly's on the clock.
Before we got lost in all that, I was going to say I really like the Roll pick. I personally prefer him over Ferguson. Quick little fun fact, but Roll and Ferguson were 1 and 2 in the ACC in receiving yards this year.
That is a fun fact.
Wasn't a great year for ACC receivers.
Who's the number 1 wide receiver in the ACC?
The number 1 receiver was out of Duke, I think, Sean Spaschek. Let me pull it up real quick.
Oh, that's kind of surprising, actually. What about that Ricky guy from Boston College? Is that his name?
Ooh, yeah, Ricky Cameron, he was 5th. Just barely missed out on 1,000. And in case you're wondering, the second half of the touchdown duo was 4th.
Oh, wow. That's actually much higher than I was expecting. I guess Jameer Roll liked catching it, not the other guy.
Yeah. About 12 more times.
Wow, a bunch of people wanted Hopkins based on the Shoutbox reaction.
This year, 2 tight ends is not a bad thing.
So the prevailing theories are that the Cardinals are either converting Vega to a wide receiver or using him as a third down back only.
I want to say they might actually deal Des, but then I don't know why, because they'd have to pay the guaranteed for this year, and that's a lot of guaranteed money.
Isn't that like all guaranteed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all.
Okay, so there's no point. You actually be better off cutting him. With the 63rd pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, Philadelphia Eagles select Sebastian Babb, tight end, Nebraska. The Titans are now on the clock.
See, they did need a tight end.
I actually really like Babb. He went off like after Cesare went to the Nebraska. He started getting way better. Yeah, I guess they did need one. They have Damani Spillman as their current starter.
Yeah, I didn't really like Babb that much, except for obviously his size is like best in this draft of tight ends.
Kind of skinny, or not heavy enough.
All of the them kind of had very similar pro days, I think, right?
Yeah, they're more or less all the same, I think. In that regard.
Looks like Sebastian Babb was in the top 15 of tight ends that performed last year in terms of yardage. So,
interesting theory by Pump. Cardinals are going to draft all the running backs to starve the market so that they can trade Des.
I think Vega isn't even a good receiving back, though, right?
Not really. That's why I was saying I think he's more of like a third down back that's like run first. He never really did. He had a lot of drops, I think. Titans got 3 minutes left, and that'll conclude the second round.
He's also not a great blocker.
No, he's a terrible blocker.
So I think we can all agree that the Colts have the worst draft because they haven't drafted anybody. But then the Cardinals are next.
Wait, the Colts have? I haven't picked. Oh my god.
The Colts have 9 picks in this draft. All of them are from the third round on.
What?
it's like the Los Angeles Chargers and the Colts full combined draft just cut in half
Yeah.
vertically.
It's kind of what happened too, because the Miller trade went from the Colts to the Chargers. Vega has quite a lot of fumbles. With the 64th and final pick of the second round of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Rashad Malcolm, defensive tackle, Ball State. The Browns are now on the clock.
I figured Malcolm would go before Bailey, honestly, but, you know, it's really just one thick boy or another.
Thick boy. The silence means that somebody's trading.
All right, we're officially starting the third round, so I think it's time to bring on some people to interview.
Arizona,
Rocket
please.
Pan and Ace Wolf want to come on, so I'm going to move them.
That's the Falcons, right?
Yeah,
Hey.
let me unmute them. Hey, guys, are you there?
They're muted.
They muted themselves.
Tech is in. With the
You got
65th
me?
pick, the Cleveland Browns select Jordan North, quarterback, Temple. Jaguars are now on the clock.
Wow.
So I had a discussion with Lucas the other day about which quarterbacks to take, because he was looking at one in the third. And I think North was the one I recommended to him the most. And I'm glad to see he followed through with it.
Didn't they just give Ryan Clark like $130 million? Or am I imagining?
Yes, they did.
Oh boy.
I'm not sure I like my boy going to Cleveland. Back to your sadness.
That's where he's going though, so.
Fun times in Cleveland today.
That's a very surprising pick. But North could be a very, very capable, particularly behind Clark.
The thing with North is he's listed as a hybrid, but he's like if you try to run him in an option offense, it's not going to work. He's not a running quarterback. From what I can tell, based on coaching him, he is more like a Carson Wentz kind of guy, where he's a pocket passer that is elusive.
With the
And
hold on a sec. With the 66th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Seth Scott, free safety, Colorado. Saints are now on the clock.
I was considering taking him in with my next pick, but
I think it's at this. I didn't actually want a free safety necessarily, but I think at this point it's just like the value is just like wow. I mean, there's like nothing.
yeah. Back to North. He the thing with him is like he doesn't run at all for like as far as scrambling, but he also doesn't get sacked much. So I think he's just like an elusive pocket quarterback, which is a good thing. He has really good arm strength. Like he can throw the deep routes really well. His accuracy is not the best, but it's like good enough. And I think he could become a starter in a couple of years, maybe developing. But I definitely don't think he's the kind of quarterback who could start right away in the NFL. So third round, top of the third round, I thought he might go late second. So I think this is about right where he should go. He really does like spreading the ball around too, which is a good thing for a quarterback.
That was the one thing when we were scouting quarterbacks, and I know I specifically asked you about scheme and all that, just so that we kind of get a ballpark of what where we can place the quarterback that we ended, or that way we can get an idea of where to place the quarterback we got. But that was one thing that incredibly impressed me about North was he never really seemed to have a wide receiver one. It was he read through his progressions better than a lot of quarterbacks that you would tend to think.
Yeah, like Andre Webb, I know him pretty well because he's also in the AAC. It's another quarterback who is kind of the opposite. He's like a pocket guy, but he pretty much only throws to his wide receiver one. Like he throws heavily to his wide receiver one and doesn't really go through his progressions. It's not really a good. I personally don't like that in a quarterback. I like them to be able to throw to whoever the fuck is open. So actually, for Cleveland, that might have been like an okay pick because they only really have one really strong. We'll see. He probably won't get any play time outside of injury. So in preseason.
I think that's a good pick to try and make sure that if they have a insurance policy in case Clark gets injured.
The Lions were apparently considering North.
That makes sense after losing out on Harrison Culver.
Wait, did it skip? Oh, Houston traded up.
Yes.
New Orleans making a lot of trades today. Well, not just today, but in this draft. I wonder what Houston's gonna pick here.
Running back.
Milton.
It's Milton time, boys.
Here we go.
Buckle up. With the 67th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Brendan Milton, running back, Purdue. Raiders are now on the clock. It happened in Spiral. Release the choo-choo.
I did want.
I don't.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I didn't like Milton at all, personally.
This seems like a band-aid to keep them satisfied until they can get their next guy.
I'd imagine so. I mean, they missed out on Grant. They missed out on Knox. This is really just a band-aid, as you said.
Also missed out on Vega, if they even wanted to give that an option. But
I don't think Rome wanted Vega, honestly.
I doubt it as well. But I'm just he was available before. So
Wasn't Houston's issues with running back the fumbles?
No, it's just he's not very good at getting yards.
I think the issue is just that they're not good.
Fair enough.
A quote from Milton's college coach in Spiral, all caps, all the way. Choo-choo, Mill train coming into the station, but Mill train just blast right through the station and keep going.
I hope that someone. I hope to have a hype man that hypes me up as much as Inspiral hypes up any Purdue player, no matter what.
Yeah.
Someone that believes in me as much.
Start your engines and run your boilers. Yeah, sounds right. Raiders, what are you taking? Quote from Rome on the draft pick: Milton probably isn't the guy next year, but if we're going to do anything different this year, Milton is a change that can provide, and we wanted to jump before Arizona takes another running back.
That was very.
Well, they're not wrong.
That's very. I also appreciate that on the wiki, it's just Brendan Milton, running back Boilermakers.
Wait, what?
It's not Purdue. He went to the University of Boilermakers.
With the 68th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Marlon Bailey, defensive tackle, Akron. The Cowboys are on the clock.
Wow.
Boilermaker University.
I did put Purdue in it by put Boilermakers in the wrong spot, but it's fine.
Boilermaker U.
Is a beast. He's
Point number 2.
6'7". I really need a defensive tackle depth. I have absolutely no depth. As a one gap guy, so this is mainly just the best pick available, but also fills a need. Yeah, I really didn't need like anything else that I saw on the board that I liked. So I think it's getting a 79 defensive tackle in the third is not too bad, I think.
I was actually wondering, for some reason, even though I'd taken Shamar Ware in the first round, I thought about taking another one just for depth, and I was surprised when I picked like 2 picks before you that only like 3 had gone to this point.
Yeah.
With the 69th pick, nice, of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Gabe Barrientos, wide receiver, Michigan. Panthers are now on the clock.
There's the wide
Nice.
receiver. The Cowboys have been
Nice.
needing to try and redo that. Also nice.
Nice.
I don't personally like Barrientos at all, really. I think he really could have benefited from staying on every year.
He's also not very thick. Man, Marlon Bailey was like a 4 out of 5 on the
he's
C
like-
scale for thick.
He's like Cuban. There's not many thick Cubans.
Yeah, I didn't really like Barrientos either, but a little bit more. But he did play against better competition, so maybe that matters some.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
He's Cuban again. Can we talk about the fact that a Cuban cigar went with the 69th pick?
To Dallas, too.
A skinny Cuban cigar with the 69th pick. The victory.
Should have taken Jay Areola at the 69th pick.
Address him by his proper name, Jay Nipple.
It's like the shitty version of Jay-Z. Panthers just got sniped on a wide receiver, unfortunately. Let's see.
Who is available from receivers?
Sebastian
Darius
Poyer
Waters.
has a pretty okay vertical. Never mind, it's terrible. Look at something else.
Oh yeah, it's mine. Oh no, never mind. It's shit.
Wait, UTSA had a top wide receiver? That's random.
I bet it was a JUCO guy.
I feel like
It was.
I thought
They had
Sebastian Porter
players?
went to like SMU.
Yeah.
Can't possibly have good players. Got to be JUCO.
You couldn't have.
There's no
legitimately
talent
gotten
in the
this talent.
G5.
What's the CUSA? Fuck.
Man, Will Chaco is really sad. Tucker Dowden is sad, sitting in the green room all alone.
Maybe
Oh.
Tucker Dowden
Is he
doesn't
still
suck
there?
as much.
I think he left it this morning.
Did he leave in a rush, thinking that he's real, or was he really upset?
He said he had other
Are you
things
saying
to do.
that he had to sleep over in the green room?
Yeah. Just camped out there with a sleeping bag.
Remember when Dylan Bishop won the Heisman and got taken in the 3rd round?
He didn't get taken in the 3rd round, did he?
No, it was like the
Oh, he
sixth.
got drafted?
They took the other quarterback in the 3rd round, and then Bishop in like the 6th.
Yeah, Conroy.
Conroy, yeah.
Conroy Convoy.
With the 70th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Eddie Burks, strong safety, Auburn. The Seahawks are now on the clock.
That's the second strong safety taken, I believe.
It is.
They really didn't need one, but I mean, I guess.
Didn't
They're-
they trade for the guy from Houston last year?
The guy who they had was like all pro, I think. Maybe second.
Manning.
Yeah, Manning.
Yeah, there was some weird stuff about trade, I think.
His combine
On
was
top of the-
interesting to say least.
Stormstopper is asking me to describe the exact expression on Tucker Dowden's face. I think it's an expression of happiness that he didn't have to grow up in Kansas.
Ouch.
On the topic of Chaco, do you think he goes here to Seattle?
I keep thinking they should take a quarterback. This is like their 7th pick, so I guess they're just riding it all the way, or hoping that they suck so bad next year that they can be, or fuck us for Marcus, or whatever the slogan is.
That may be a little blunt.
I feel like if there's any place Chaco goes in this round, it's probably here.
Mill train breaks the system again. Choo choo. Dean says Barrientos is ass, in my opinion. Bubada, I hate Barrientos. I had him as the number 22 ranked wide receiver.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
You're ranking things to 22? Holy shit. Dumbo,
Well, this is
I
Bubada.
fucking hate Barrientos.
That's probably a small list for him.
Clem, Barrientos sucks. Alright, so everybody agrees apparently this is not a good pick.
Suck dick for first pick.
That applies every year.
I
like that one.
From Rome.
Very subtle.
Subtle.
Tuscan, define subtle, please.
I mean, okay, not subtle.
So not subtle.
That wasn't subtle.
Anti-subtle.
Anti-subtle, yes.
My tight ends are now like a fucking 9th year player and then a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd year player. So I got one like every year. The past 3 drafts.
The 49ers GM was just quoted as saying 3 more picks until we're up, and I don't like anyone.
That's mean.
Dowden. Take Dowden.
Doubt it. Oh, that's perfect, actually. What? Oh, they have Orly, though, who's like everybody's favorite backup. Oh, really?
Orly
Not
is
really. No way.
It's time. Set Orly free. Embrace the Dowden.
They could go with Black too. He had a pretty good pro day.
They could also go Chaco.
Yo, can we discuss
Not a good
the
fit.
Georgia Tech quarterback again? Because I want to hype him up 1 year in advance. We have to get that started.
Josh
now.
Beckett.
Josh Beckett, yeah, okay.
Touchdown.
Somebody make a suck for Beckett alliteration thing. Rhyme.
Suck
I
for
would say-
Beckett is a very odd word choice given the history.
Beckett's
Touchdowns for Beckett.
in that bowl game. Beckett and North's arms both probably like almost fell off.
Check it for Beckett.
It's got to involve touchdown somehow.
Touchdowns for Beckett.
Doesn't
Wreck it for Beckett.
wreck it for Beckett.
It's
Did
With the 71st overall pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Tucker Dowden, quarterback, Missouri. The Saints are now on the
There he
clock.
goes.
that is not at all expected.
I love it though.
It's done.
Oh god, did they just draft Russell Wilson?
Hey.
Yes.
Either that or Aaron Kotar.
Granted, this is their second scrambling quarterback.
I know,
So-
but this seems to me more like Russell Wilson.
They could go back and Xander Williams as a free agent. They could bring the band back together.
With the 72nd
This is-
pick of the 2022 NFL
For
Draft, the New
nostalgia.
Orleans Saints select Justin Williams, cornerback, Eastern Illinois. The Vikings are now on the clock.
Tucker Dowden's either Russell Wilson or Tim Tebow.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Vikings are on the clock. Sorry.
All right, I just realized we came in here and we didn't even like ask them about any of their picks. So we should.
Thanks,
so like,
guys.
how about your draft? Tell us about it.
Well,
took some players.
we took some players. You know, we went with Culver in the first. Traded up for him because we saw on the wiki that his listed major was Russian, and we felt that was a really good asset to bring to the team. And that's actually not a joke. His listed major is Russian.
Who?
Like rushing for touchdowns?
Yeah. But no, the main thing that we saw out of Culver was we loved his mentality. We loved everything about the pro day that we saw, his improvement going into his senior year. And I felt that if we wanted to make a first round, we wanted to really go for a guy that we think could impact us that much more in the future, instead of part of Like for a defensive pick, it would have been great to pick, a corner, a defensive tackle, or an inside linebacker, more of a, immediate need that we could use this year. But for an impact player, Culver was the guy that we really liked the best. He has that leadership quality you're looking for. It just seems like he has that it factor.
Picks in. With the 73rd pick, the Minnesota Vikings select Laverne White, cornerback, Toledo. San Francisco 49ers are now on the clock.
Interesting. I think we sniped him with Williams.
And at least a little bit more about one of the things we liked about Culver from his pro day, the fact that he has an elite knack. That to me just screams, you're going to be a fantastic quarterback. Reads the game well, goes through his progressions, communicates with his line. That to me is just, that's reading all of his strengths are great. And it didn't really seem like he had very many downsides. He has a lot of room to grow. And, for him being an 81, I think we can let him sit for a year, mold an offense around him, and really figure out his ticks, or figure out a way to, how do we want to use Culver the best way possible.
What do you guys think of some of the guys that you were also considering with that pick? Considering anyone else, or were you just Culver all the way?
For where we were initially, or what we ended up moving to? We had a few guys that we had eyes on, but really Culver was the top of the board pretty much the whole way there. And once we saw he got past a certain point, we had to pull the trigger, because franchise quarterback, something that really puts you over the top. So if you futz around and say, well, maybe we can not do that and grab somebody else, like Ace was saying, you could fill a need, but the franchise quarterback, something that you stick with for almost a decade, so that's something now that we hopefully will have set and can now build a team around.
And at least at the pick, I was honestly completely surprised that even at 17, that Tyrese Thompson was still available. I was not anticipating that to even be an option. I was anticipating him going top 10, in that range, kind of like what a lot of the mocks had said, and that we would have had an option of Marcus Golden. But with Tyrese Thompson there, that was kind of a surprise, but I still felt while that would have been nice, I consider Culver to be a guy we can sit later and really get the most out of him.
How are you going to handle it if in the preseason Culver shines AJ Jefferson? Is there a chance he can win the starting job, or are you just set on sitting him?
I think, at least in my opinion, particularly with the amount of coaching turnover that Culver had in his time at Utah, I think it's probably best to let him sit for his development. I don't want to rush him out too early, even though his readiness grade was pretty high. I think that particularly for a rookie quarterback, there's a bunch of things you can learn. And I personally have gone through starting a rookie quarterback immediately. And I want to try and make sure that we're completely ready to put him in the best situation we feel like that we can before I put Culver in there for sure.
The Jets have traded up with the with 49ers to the 74th pick.
It is.
I believe that just happened.
Yeah, 92 and 128 for 74. So round 3 and round 4 for a 18 pick jump.
No, it's round 4 and round 5.
Oh, wait.
You said 118. That's round 4.
No, I said 92 and 128.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's round 3 and 4. Jets have 10 seconds left, and then the Ravens are on the clock for the second time. Ravens took Lucas Benton in the second. With the 74th pick, the New York Jets select Mark Lattimore, guard, Southern Miss. The Ravens are now on the clock.
Rome asked a pretty interesting question a second ago of does Will Chaco go to the Ravens?
I don't think it makes sense.
I disagree with
If
Chaco to Ravens.
Yeah.
anything, I would say maybe they'd go with Black to get another scrambler if they're going to pick up a quarterback, but I don't think that's where they're going to go.
They just drafted Fisher. Like, even if Fisher sucks, probably shouldn't do that yet.
I agree.
They should draft Raheem Morrell.
The greatest.
I agree with all of that. I just saw the question pop up and thought it was an interesting point, particularly considering that Fisher was graded as one of the was like a bottom 5 quarterback from the P.
Counter question though, who do you guys think drafts Will Chaco? That dude has had so much hype for like 2 years.
Probably Detroit.
I think it's absolutely Detroit.
At what point?
Unless someone
that
trades up for him.
At what point do you think it's just worth taking a shot at him? Like the 4th round, 5th round?
I could see Miami as well because their backup quarterback is like pretty fucking terrible, and Brian Brown is injury prone.
Who is their backup quarterback? Glenn White retired. Who was my backup for him?
He's some FCS guy who Frank Killian, I think.
Killian, yeah.
He is really fucking bad.
Oh, that's a pretty terrible backup, actually. Yeah. With the 75th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Mykeel Black, quarterback, Iowa. The Lions are now on the clock.
Yeah, as I expected, if they were going to draft a QB, that would be it. I don't think that's a great pick for them, but I think Fisher should absolutely get another chance to start. You draft him in the 1st round. You got to keep going with him, I think.
The biggest thing that I don't like about this pick is this is only their 2nd pick, and they haven't done anything. Like, do they really not have any needs?
They have needs. They need wide receivers. They don't have anyone to throw the ball. That's part of the reason why.
Well, I can't blame them here because the wide receiver board is like kind of barren.
There's only one wide receiver left on the board who went to the combine.
Yeah,
so
Porter guy. There's Jay Areola and Justin Evans, who are the only ones that I really know.
And
they
were
were
both
taking a
early
chance on Mike Miller before, though, or Artavius Hopkins.
They should take John O'Donnell Beavers. With the 76th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, Detroit Lions select Will Chaco, quarterback, NDSU. Colts are now on the clock.
Good fit.
There we go.
I'm pretty good at this, guys.
That's pretty good.
It's a run on quarterbacks in the 3rd round.
This is more quarterbacks than I imagined going this early.
You know what? What's going to happen now is Miami, or I think maybe Miami. I don't know when they pick next. Yeah, they pick at 94. If there's not another quarterback taken, which Stephen Gore is the next quarterback, but good one.
Can I mention that the Giants still don't have a quarterback?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying the Giants picked at 82. They could pick a quarterback. I don't think. Obviously, Indy isn't going to use their 1st pick in the draft on a quarterback. Arizona is not going to. They have to have him for it. Actually, they could do anything. So who the fuck knows? Cleveland already took one. New England. They have Watkins.
Yep. Also have Trickett.
Yeah, and Trickett. So the Giants absolutely could get a quarterback with this next pick.
I have a lightly used Byron Harper, if anybody would like him.
And at this point, we don't really know if the Cardinals are going to take another running back. We really don't know.
Who even is available at running back?
Yes.
They'll find someone.
He'll take a fullback.
Shane
Johnny
Strong
Tripp.
is actually not that bad. He's a 76, but he was with Arizona and he's pretty good.
Oh, I remember that guy.
Johnny Taylor, I think, is decent too, but I think he was just misused.
With the 77th overall pick, the Indianapolis Colts select Ruben Cahill, outside linebacker, Notre Dame. Cardinals are now on the clock.
I think that's fair. They did just sign Quasi Rob. I guess back up to him. Cahill.
I'm so giddy for what the Cardinals are about to do.
I really liked Cahill's pro day. It seemed like he was really. I felt like he was going to be a very
Ethan
good
Newby.
4-3 guy, to where you can really. It seemed like he was one of those jack of all trades, master of none type guys.
Indy is a 3-4 team, though, I think.
Then I'm not sure how they. Well, no, I think they're transitioning to a 4-3. I believe because they have Anthony Miller.
Are we only doing the second and third round today, or the fourth as well? I don't remember.
I believe I said second and third. Let me just double check.
Because
I
most
think
people are
it's-
asking. Otherwise, we're almost done.
Yeah.
I'll recommend Muhammad Mustafa here for the Cardinals.
Ethan Newby, please. Please drop Newby.
Yeah, it's just 2 and 3 today.
I mean, I guess
Seven.
you can't miss on a running back if you take them all. Or can you?
I mean, they missed out on Knox, so
I'm more interested to see if this is like the first serious pick or if they go like random stuff again.
Memes
Even
all
though-
the way.
Even though they have...
Picks in. With the 78th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select running back. No, I'm just kidding. Defensive tackle Maxwell Quezada from Nebraska.
this
Browns are
guy
now on the
is
clock.
terrible. He has, like, no stats in college football, like, at all. And he's not a JUCO either. He's, like, a 4-year player. He didn't even start till his redshirt junior year.
Maxwell
He
Quezada.
is terrible.
Cardinals con Quezada.
So I've been in talks of Cesare since he's our scout because we've been looking at defensive tackles, and he's very strong about us not even giving this guy a look.
All
That's
right.
why I know he's
Well,
terrible.
then, I think they somehow could have made a worse pick. They could have just stayed with running backs, and it would have been.
His scouting grade was 4.9.
Ouch.
That's really bad.
That might be the lowest one in the entire combine.
Lowest overall, like pro day grade, or lowest overall in that particular range, or for
Scouting.
that particular thing.
I'm looking through it.
Because I know his readiness was super low, and I think it was below a 4.9.
Yeah, I don't see anyone else with a lower scouting grade than this guy.
Well then, on Cardinals, if you win the Super Bowl, you can tell us all to go fuck ourselves.
According to Bubata, Raheem Morel's scouting grade was a 4.3.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Also, I'm fairly certain, thinking about this now, that this guy's going to start for them because they just traded their starting defensive tackle to the Jets.
Good luck.
Who the Rams just take what, running back? Oh, David Knox? Oh boy. Alright.
I predict Sam Walsh will go at pick number 88.
Who is that?
The Rams.
Oh, Rams, yeah.
I I'll go 85.
Is this like the 5th time the Browns are on the clock in the 2nd or 3rd round? I feel like maybe they've traded.
A couple times. They traded in the first.
This will be their 3rd pick of today, but they did trade. One of the picks was a trade.
They got 1.5 minutes left.
Yeah, make sure if you're doing trades that you also post them on the forum.
Cade said, I made his heart drop when I said running back. He said, rip.
Sorry, I'm back.
Upcoming Browns, Ravens again. Patriots, Giants, Chiefs, Redskins. Dean
If you guys have no more for me or the Falcons, I'll probably head out.
Okay.
All right.
The thing that surprises me the most about the Ravens picking black is that they still had a 3rd round left. And I don't think anybody was really pushing.
That's true, actually.
That's just really strange.
Maybe they didn't have anybody else who they thought was okay at that pick. Yeah, it's weird, though. Wish we could get the Cardinals and the Ravens in here for talk.
Rams owner quoted as saying, "Kickers are for bitches."
That went well for you guys last year. Browns are... with the 79th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Steven Davidson, guard, Michigan. The Ravens are now on the clock.
I mean,
I mean, at least it's not Darius Waters.
That's a pick.
Yeah, I didn't like this guy. His readiness is really low. He's definitely not going to start anytime soon.
I don't think he's starting, though, so...
Have some pretty good guards, but... I don't know. I guess they can afford to take a guy who's not ready.
With the 80th pick, the Baltimore Ravens select Bernard McLeod, cornerback, Ohio State. The New England Patriots are now on the clock.
On the clock.
That's unfortunate.
Feels bad.
I'm really confused.
The Baltimore Ravens, like, I guess they like this guy, but he had a pretty good combine, I think. And Ohio State has put out some pretty good players in this draft. But I think they're doing this weird thing where they just like stack up on their strengths and don't really address their needs. Because they have 2 good starting corners already. They did that weird trade with Kenyatta Henderson.
I think they're just trying to like make their defense one of the best ever. I think that's like legitimately what they're trying to do, and they don't care about offense.
Bernard McLeod was a top 5 combine performer in every single stat.
His game tape grade was a 5.5, but he has very high readiness. I'm not really sure what they plan to use him for, but I mean, what was his like speed? Yeah, maybe he's a slot corner. Maybe.
The thing that, and the other part with McLeod was I know that because I scouted him a little bit. His stats kind of took a hit, but Ohio State also brought in another 4.5 corner, and I think his name is A.P. Hauser. I believe that's his name. But he took up a lot of the stats, and I don't remember if they moved McLeod down or if Hauser just feasted on the second wide receivers. So I like the player, but I don't necessarily understand the fit. They're already about 4 or 5 deep in the corner set.
All right, I moved Dactor in here, so we have someone from the Ravens.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Doctor?
So what were you thinking with these last couple picks?
So, here, I'll just go one at a time. With McLeod, or however you pronounce it, we really only have 3 cornerbacks of them. So I wanted some depth there. And I mean, Muhammad is pretty old, and Perry is starting to age, and he's not that good of a nickel corner. So I thought McLeod might be able to develop into like at least a nickel corner for us in like a year or two. And we like this combine, so there wasn't really anything else for us to take there also. And then with Black, we only have 1 scrambling quarterback on our roster right now. So if Fisher were to go down, we'd be pretty much completely screwed without Black. So we just wanted a little bit of an insurance policy, and we think he's good for that.
Do you think he's has a chance to push for the starting job? If maybe obviously not right away, but maybe if he has a really strong preseason and Fisher continues to struggle, do you think he might see play time?
Fisher is the starter, like for now. Like it's not like we're having a competition going into preseason. It's not like we're gonna completely turn a blind eye though if circumstances point towards Black for us. So we'll just continue to look at the situation as it goes, I guess.
With the 81st overall pick, the New England Patriots have selected Abdullah Boone, tight end, Arkansas. Giants are now on the clock.
I honestly don't know too much about this guy.
They have Gary Jones, so this is his backup.
His combine seems underwhelming, at least comparing with the other tight ends from this draft.
Wait, they picked Boone?
Yeah.
Yeah, Engel.
Brian Engel is still on the board. The 80 overall from Colorado State.
Oh, that's weird.
The only reason I would think that maybe they didn't want him was he was kind of slow.
He had better.
I don't think he's that much slower. I mean, he's
Overall,
0.1 second slower, I guess. I think at that point it doesn't matter that much. Engel had like a great college career. I don't know anything about Boone, to be honest. The only other tight end I know anything about is that Charles Sherrill guy from Southern Miss. He was pretty good for them, I think.
I'm not gonna lie, I think a lot of players on that Arkansas team just kind of got forgotten since they
haven't really had a coach for years, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after...
Who did the Giants take a quarterback here? I think Stephen Gore as... They could probably get him later, to be honest. But Andre Webb and Kyle Davidson are the last 80s.
Before the little run of quarterbacks, I Gore later. True, but I'm not entirely sure now.
Kyle Davidson is undraftable.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. I don't think Davidson's a good pick at all.
What's wrong with Davidson? I didn't scout the quarterback, so...
His pro day was absolutely horrible.
Picks in. The 82nd pick, the New York Giants select Brian Engel, tight end, Colorado State. Chiefs are now on the clock.
That's a good pick.
That's a good value pick.
They did just let go of Chris Gano, so I kind of like this pick too.
And I think they had another tight end that they picked up last year that had a decent progression, but may not have been a guy that they could. His ceiling may have been tight end 3.
So Storm said Boone had less than 500 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns, and 3 drops. Engel had 960 yards, 11 touchdowns, a higher readiness grade. Boone had a higher game tape and scouting grade. I think also Arkansas threw it way more, if I remember correctly.
I don't know if they did. I know that's what they did when Sean Stitten was there.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if he's still doing that.
Who was their quarterback last year? Like Connor Dawson or something like that? I don't remember. That team is like drifting. Anyway, Chiefs are on the clock, and then Redskins, Colts, Broncos, Cowboys, Rams.
Yes, it was Connor Dawson. He's a redshirt junior, pocket 4 out of 4. Only completed 58% of his passes for just shy of 3,000 yards, 19-17.
That's a lot of passing.
Well, he only attempted 433 passes.
Oh. Wait, he only attempted, that's pretty high yards per attempt for like a mediocre college quarterback. It's like 9.
Yards per attempt says 6.66,
Okay,
so he's the devil.
My mental math just sucks. So yeah, he's awful.
So like, are the Giants gonna go after who? Like Lawyer Johnson?
I don't know.
Maybe
They're gonna have some corpse at quarter. Like Dean promised us it wouldn't be Will Thompson, but I'm starting to think it might be Will Thompson.
I feel like even Kareem Taylor or something would be better than Will Thompson though. Will Thompson hasn't played in so long.
I'm sure they're gonna sign one of the free agent quarterbacks once the draft ends and things go down. But that's not gonna
Lawyer Johnson would be a bet. Lawyer Johnson might be a bad play.
No, I only had him for 1 year. He's a free agent.
Oh, okay.
May not be a bad fit though. At least give him a shot.
Former first-round pick Lawyer Johnson.
Oh no, I know who they should pick. They should definitely pick former Rookie of the Year candidate Harold Simmons.
They should consider. Did Simmons not retire? Is he still around?
Yeah, Simmons is still around.
He's somehow alive.
They should sign Deshaun Jenkins.
No, we already did.
I thought you said you didn't have another scrambling quarterback on the roster.
Well, does he really count?
Yes. He made a man eat a sock.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we're going to convert him back to quarterback, and then I guess we'll see what the overall is.
Chiefs are about to run out of time.
Who do Chiefs even take?
The other guy, Sherrill, tight end, had
trade.
827 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns the previous year, and this year had 913 yards, 13 touchdowns. So that guy's pretty good.
And he did not get invited to Pro
He's
Day.
a 75. He was like I think he's a 4 or 4.5. I guess he's a 4.5 probably. With the 83rd pick, the Chiefs select Jeremy Easter, free safety, Duke. Redskins are now on the clock.
Oh,
That's not bad.
I don't know where to start with this actually, because I've monitored Duke's defense since I've been keeping stat sheets, and he's a very polarizing figure, I think.
Oh, I think my mic cut out. It was Jeremy Easter from Duke to the Chiefs.
Yeah. Personally, I just go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I looked at some of the stats for him when I considered drafting Seth Scott or whatever, and he looked very like eh. But I think at this point, a 79 overall free safety is probably value anyway. Stormstopper saying the Giants should sign RJ Stanford.
Fuck.
I mean, that's not the worst. Didn't they just trade him though?
Yeah, for Davenport.
But they didn't resign him.
He also took the Steelers to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I wouldn't mind Stanford being the starting quarterback, I guess.
Well,
He also won a playoff game as the Giant.
Dean says, if Will Thompson is a starting quarterback week 1, I will eat a sock.
God, don't do it.
Stop bringing up eating articles of clothing. It's not a good idea.
I mean, I feel like this is pretty, like, easy. If you can just put anyone at starting quarterback. You could put fucking DeQuell Moore as starting quarterback. Like,
this has happened before, and I think it also happened on the Giants. Let me tell you the story of LeBlanc. Brian
Oh, boy.
LeBlanc.
oh god.
Wide receiver turned quarterback turned corpse. I believe it was 2016, maybe 2015. I think it was 2015. The man tore every ligament in both his knees. Some say he can't walk to this very day.
I wonder if he was hanging out with Ontario Smith in the hospital.
What is Ontario? Oh, Ontario. Is he a free agent? No, he retired, I think.
Did he?
Yeah, he retired.
The end of a legacy.
Bubata says, at this point I'm wondering if Dean just likes eating socks.
I am really concerned if he keeps coming up like this.
Washington taking their sweet ass time.
Oh, Simmons is the backup on the Bears? Okay, that makes sense.
I thought they got rid of him a while ago.
I don't know.
Do the Redskins still find time to draft?
Redskins. We're approaching. This is the furthest we've ever gone without a team forfeiting a pick, I think. So maybe we're coming up on that. I don't know how sad that is that this is the furthest. Bubata, do you have stats on forfeited picks? I think the Browns have like 3, the Redskins 2, something like that. Panthers have a shitload because Cade was like drunk one time. I think the Giants too.
Hey, don't knock on drunk picks. That's how we got our starting tight end.
I remember the Cade one. Didn't he just say he didn't care about the 7th round because he didn't think anyone good would come out of it, so he just didn't even bother?
Why would you trade the picks?
Don't ask
I mean,
No, the Bears
not have had
let
any
Simmons
value.
walk. Eating a sock is an acquired taste, apparently. It's got cheese flavor.
I think he actually like put on or something.
He what?
So I think he actually put like ketchup on it when he was eating it.
That's disgusting. Alright, anyway.
How did I miss this?
Redskins just ran out of time, so the Colts are also on the clock.
I think this is the Redskins' first pick of the day.
No,
Are
it's
they
the
even
second.
here?
It's the
No.
second.
Oh. Flown by then.
Oh, big trade. Chad Dess was traded to the Titans for Jackie Eaton.
Whoa.
Okay, what the fuck?
What?
Dude, the Cards are playing like 8D chess.
So the Titans basically don't even have to pay him.
They just... They
So,
don't.
do the Cardinals realize that they're still on the hook for his money? Like, I don't know if they're aware of this. The Colts have selected defensive tackle Tawa Mawia from Auburn. The Redskins and Broncos are on the clock. Could somebody check with the Cardinals that they realize that they have to pay the entire contract?
Well, for this year.
Yeah. But I mean, that's like the contract is like literally only this year. It's like 80% of the money.
Well, it says in the trade that they're retaining his salary. Although, wasn't he making 17 million?
It was a large amount of money.
I don't know, man. That's a shitload of money, regardless.
I'm actually just upset because I wanted Des for a couple years since I didn't like running backs in this class all that much.
So Chad Des has been on like 6 teams in the last 5 months. He went.
Yeah, he was on the Bills and the Rams. Then he signed with the
Colts,
Cardinals.
then the
Now he's on the Titans.
Oh my God! What in the hell?
But what are the Cardinals even doing? Not even thinking about trading Des, but or 2 high-rated Wills.
Isn't that what Seattle has too, or is that a different team?
No, they have Ottawa and Douglas Scott.
There's one team with 2 Wills, I think. That's is it Minnesota? Yeah, it's Minnesota.
Dean would like to know that he's not somebody who would put ketchup on a sock. He drank it with water. I ate it with water. Sorry, I had to clear his name. Nobody would put ketchup on a sock when eating it.
Okay, so yeah, the Titans agreed to pay some of the signing bonus, but which is allowed up to 50%, but they still are on the hook for a lot of fucking money that's just not being used for anything.
I still can't believe that Chad Des got 17 million in free agency.
Wait, I just realized that the Colts drafting Tawa Maui, they took Hudson Adam last year.
Big boys.
Also, the Redskins, I assume are not here or something because they still haven't picked. It's been 10 minutes. So I don't know if anybody's picking for them or
Isn't it just rifles?
It is.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Denver's up.
It's been a while since we've heard from Broncos.
I think.
People were talking about them going quarterback earlier, right? Because that's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah, unless they want to reach on like Blair Holcomb or Stephen Gore, which I highly disagree with, of
Definitely
course.
take Marquise Simpkins.
Gore's going to the
Sam, how good
Giants at
he
some
is.
point in the future, for sure.
If that ship has sailed, they could trade for Robert Shipp from the Falcons.
They could trade for Paul Davenport so that the Cardinals can line up Vega at quarterback.
Wildcat.
I guess I'll entertain the idea on here, but Kate is always touting Sean Hamilton as the GOAT backup quarterback.
Uh-oh. There's another Washington pick coming up, so...
The GOAT backup quarterback is Alex Bridgewater. Sorry.
That's exactly what I was going to talk about.
The guy has like multiple games in the preseason where he has 0 incompletions.
Wait, what team is he on?
The
Eagles.
He's the best backup in the league, I think.
He's also a +3 captain, if I'm not mistaken.
What the fuck?
Oh my god, what the fuck? Dude's like a legend. He hasn't played a real game in like 7 years.
He's basically like fucking Chase Daniel.
He's the best moral support.
Okay, the Broncos also ran out of time, so now we're like totally fucked up because now we have 3 teams picking.
Also, just on the record, I know that because...
Hold on, Dallas picked Sam Richardson, linebacker, South Dakota State. Go ahead.
Decent value at this point.
Yeah.
Kicker time.
Oh god.
This is actually happening.
Whenever we were heavily considering Dowden, I legitimately thought about asking the Eagles to trade for Bridgewater so that Bridgewater could be in the quarterback room with Dowden for that insane locker room stuff.
That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
With the 88th pick, 2022 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Sam Walsh, kicker, California.
They did it.
Kickers are for bitches. Let's go. Broncos are talking about the password.
It looks like they just took Sebastian Porter, wide receiver from UTSA.
Because if your password isn't working, check if there's any extra spaces.
Jesus.
Look, Panthers picked already.
Oh wait, my mic was out. Panthers selected Jay Areola. The Redskins are up twice.
Jay Nipple.
Kincaid. He's gonna be hyping up Jay Nipple all fucking season now.
Great.
The new Curtis Henry.
That's a 75 draft in the third round. I think that's pretty dumb, but
Yeah.
Just to
There's
give
not
you an
really
idea,
a lot
Sam
of
Walsh
good
was at
players
82. So they had a 7 overall difference in back-to-back picks, basically.
well, one was a kicker though.
What's even like left? So like I guess there's still value at O-line, like there always is, but there's really not much left. It feels like it feels like this is a pretty shallow draft.
Every draft is shallow in the third round.
Yeah.
You're not really looking for starters for the most part here, at least not right away.
Wait, I feel like that's like a fundamental misunderstanding of what the third round is like in real life as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. There's just not a lot of like.
So I don't know. We're gonna need a ruling on what the Redskins, what happens with these two Redskins picks. Can they pick at any point tonight? Because he's clearly not here.
I think they would have to pick tomorrow. I'm not sure how it works with the when you actually close it. I don't think you can pick. You can do trades on the interface when it's stopped, but
Bright Falls
I don't
hasn't
think you
been
can actually pick.
Bright Falls hasn't been on the site in 2 hours.
He was here at the beginning of the draft because he picked one. So this is unfortunate. So the Redskins again have problems during the draft for 3 of the last 4 years.
Yeah, I just don't know.
Is it just Bright Falls in Washington?
It is.
Can we? Is there a way to flag these as like none or something in Spiral so that because it's gonna fuck the interface up for the next? I mean, there's only like 10 picks left, but this is gonna be all fucked up.
Just give him Darius Waters.
No, because somebody might actually draft him.
All right, then give him the worst fullback.
Oh, we're coming up on comp picks. Well, who are these comp picks for? Miami, Atlanta, and Carolina.
Atlanta is for their safety, strong safety. Roan. Miami is for
Montgomery.
no, wait, Montgomery. Yeah, he was a free agent. Yeah, and then Carolina is for Ron Rice.
Oh, okay. You're welcome, Carolina.
Thank you for getting him out of here.
Well, Carolina is a 4th round comp pick too. What the fuck? And a 5th.
Ron Rice's value.
San Francisco should draft Golden Bridges. I'll keep saying that until their next pick.
Our next pick is actually in 2 picks.
If you're from San Francisco, do listen to Tusk.
The problem is that he's not even the best fullback, so.
For the memes.
Jumanji, you know what to do.
So we had a kicker go. So what goes first, the punter or full? Actually, the fullback's going first for sure.
The punters in this draft are terrible.
Yeah, they are.
I kind of don't think any punters are going to go at all.
This might be the first year where we legit don't have like a legitimate starting punter.
Because the hot, right?
Yep. There's an Auburn guy and a UTSA guy. Both are 78.
There's actually quite a few starting fullbacks if you need one. Zahir Willis as well.
Who has a better chance of getting drafted, a punter or a kick returner?
Kick returner.
Somebody's gonna take a kick returner in like the sixth round,
yeah.
fifth round.
I mean, he's not that bad. He's a 79 overall hybrid, Deion Madison. Somebody's gonna take him. Redskins are out of time on their second pick. The Lions are now on the clock. They took Chaco with their last pick. Who are some guys that you guys like that are still available, or that are noteworthy? Andre Webb and Stephen Gore for the quarterbacks for me.
Soon, so I'm not gonna say.
Shane Strong, the running back.
Golden Bridges.
Ryan Rodriguez, the offensive tackle, is good value at this point.
Oh yeah, how is he still on?
That is kind of strange, actually.
Probably bad combine.
Combine's not that bad. He had a pretty good. It was average. Did he have a bad pro day or something?
I don't think. His grades are kind of bad. Kind of really bad. Not 4.x, but
Just mediocre.
yeah.
There's actually a lot of free.
Dean says the Giants currently have 9 wide receivers.
Wow. A sim version of LeBron cut half of.
Yet only one of them is starter material.
Wait, which?
I'm not sure.
Lattimore.
Probably
I think.
Lattimore,
yeah. Yeah, Decker's right about there being a lot of safety depth. Darius Patton had an okay pro day. The grades are not awful. I guess the same with Matthew Dyson, but
Oh yeah, Patton's combine is actually pretty good. The broad jump's kind of terrible.
all right. So Darius Patton for sure goes in the next 3-4 picks.
Probably.
Maybe that's who Alien wants, and now he's gonna get sniped.
Matthew Dyson as well. Alien probably wants fucking. Actually, I'm not sure. A defensive end is what I was thinking, but there aren't. Corey Hall.
I was about to say yeah. Corey Hall is
good
available.
stats.
I really liked Corey Hall when I recruited him, and fucking GRV played him in the wrong position. He played him outside linebacker his whole career.
Oh,
Really?
Yep.
Ah.
Because he had Ogali Adolongwe or whatever, the African defensive end.
Yeah, that was one thing I noticed about Hall was, that Penn State defense has incredible playmakers at every position, so he really didn't dance to do anything.
I think also
or make an impact until this last year.
I vaguely remember that I stole him from Alien to begin with, I think.
No, that was the other one.
Oh, okay.
I think Corey Hall actually did play DE. The other one played outside linebacker.
Oh yeah, Justin Vela.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I tried to recruit him, and he never fucking played defensive end for Penn State, and he would have started for me.
Yeah,
as my
that's right.
best,
Justin Vela.
best fucking guy.
Detroit's about to run out of time. What the hell is going on?
I know Jacobs is here.
They're probably trying to trade.
Is there really any point in trading? It really doesn't feel like we're in that. It doesn't feel like we're still in a part of a draft where these picks matter that much.
Someone has to trade up for Golden Bridges, dude.
Oh, true.
Detroit's pick is in.
Detroit has selected Nathan Iverson, offensive tackle, Florida. San Francisco's on the clock. Iverson was my right tackle. Was he my right? I think he's my right tackle. I'm pretty sure. But my run offense was awesome, and he's a pass blocking tackle. So just keep that in mind when you play him.
I was wondering why Cesario had him so high on our big board. He never did get back to me.
I mean, he was. Wait, you mean Iverson?
Yeah.
He was part of like the best O-line ever, basically. So.
So it still leaves Rodriguez on the board, which I mean, value at this point. San Fran is up.
You know what to do.
Golden Bridges.
Wait, what's Bridges 40 time?
Good.
5.01.
That's good for a
Golden
fullback.
standard.
That's the lowest fullback among all the ones that went to the combine.
Apparently, they wanted Iverson.
Really?
Wow, getting sniped.
Sam Gilligan has the highest 40 time among the kickers.
Corey Milton had the most interceptions of.
Wow, Darman said Jeremy Easter started all 4 years for him.
I don't know why I said Corey.
Brendan Milton, that Purdue guy.
That Purdue guy.
Yes.
Not that Syracuse guy.
I guess if they wanted Iverson, we'll probably see Rodriguez go here.
I suspect just like looking at everything to see what's available. Because when you get sniped like that, you kind of got to scramble. That kick returner had a really fast 40 time. Maybe they'll draft him.
'49ers with the 92nd pick have selected Ryan Rodriguez, offensive tackle, Michigan. Raiders are now on the clock.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I mean, that's. Why was he? I don't understand why he was skipped so much. Oh, are the Redskins picks in? Nope, never mind. Still no picks.
So the Niners picked him?
If somebody could let the Redskins know, or Ray Falls know that he's got 2 picks, that would be great.
Is he back or?
No, I'm just saying, like in general, if he shows up.
Oh.
It's okay, San Francisco. You have your 4th round pick.
It's already a lock.
Raiders, please.
What do they even need?
What do they need that they haven't really addressed yet? That is some worth at this point. They got Roll, which I agree with. They got Kyle Will. That fills up tackle. Please be Darius Waters. Please.
There's no way. Okay, is actually 202 pounds, or is he 302? Like for
Picks in.
some, but
Raiders have selected Darius Patton, free safety.
Oh.
Miami's pick
Jesus
is in.
Christ, you scared me.
yeah, I know.
What? Miami's pick is in. Miami selects Stephen Gore, quarterback, UCLA. The Eagles.
I
are not-
called it.
Oh.
I called it
Okay.
long ago.
Okay. So Dean really wanted Stephen Gore, but his front office didn't want him. And he wanted to pick him in this round, and they didn't let him.
They told him.
They told him no.
What?
No,
I mean-
all right.
Yeah. I don't know.
So this pick that the Raiders just had, they traded their free safety to get this pick to get a new free safety.
Interesting.
Yeah, I traded this morning with the Green Bay, my old backup free safety. Now I get basically another free safety that's going to develop behind my 96 overall guy who's getting a little up there, but I better to a longer term contract who's going to develop, since I signed this guy to a 3-year deal. So with this rookie contract, if I don't at the end of that deal, he'll, if he progresses well. The other guy only had 2 years left, so he wouldn't have lasted past that.
I mean, I really like the pick, and it kind of works out really well, given that you just got rid of James White.
I could have sworn I remembered something interesting. I thought that I heard that he was a 4-4, but I don't think that's right.
Sure about that. That would be kind of crazy if he was a 4-4.
I'm about to check right now.
Phillies on the clock. We have 2 more picks in the round here, and then we have 3 picks.
The Eagles have 2 minutes left on their pick.
So, what do we think about Gore to Miami? Because we all had a pretty similar reaction to that.
I like it.
I called it earlier, and I think it's a great place for Gore to go. I think it's a good pick for Miami. It's much better back. He actually could probably come in and win some games with their talented roster. So if Brian Brown does get injured, they might not like the first pick in the draft.
With the 95th overall pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select Logan Holmes, cornerback, Illinois. The Saints are now on the clock. I really like.
There's the Illinois guy.
I really like Logan Holmes.
Yeah, he's good.
Darius Patton was a 4.5 out of 4.5. That was me. I thought that he was lower rated or lower generated than what he was. But still, he's a 78. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I've had 45 or 4.5s come out as like fucking like a 73. So.
Now we're back to the point where my mic shuts off on broadcasting software every 2 seconds.
Yeah, we're not doing any more interviews today. We only got like 5 picks left.
Yeah, there's only 5 picks left. So. Plus those 2 Redskins black hole picks.
Oh, by the way, can I say something about Ryan Harris real quick?
Sure.
I like that he went to a team with a half decent O line, but he hasn't ever operated in like a really run-heavy scheme. So I'm not sure if the Chiefs are planning to like completely overhaul their offensive system for him, like completely overhaul it, or what they're gonna do. But I think it's a pretty good landing spot for him. He just needs probably a little more wide receiver help, and he'll be good there.
That's good tips.
Rome to point out that that was the fourth alone, and Holmes is the only one that wasn't included in that wild stretch of a line I had taken earlier.
Who's got the most picks? Is it Michigan?
I think it might be Illinois, man.
I think Michigan and Illinois are tied.
Michigan has
UCLA's
6.
in there.
Michigan has 6 taken.
Illinois
Okay.
has 5, I think. Penn State has 5 as well.
It's probably Michigan then. I know UCLA had a lot taken today.
Oh yeah, UCLA did have.
Michigan only has 5, right?
I'm not sure.
Michigan has 5, but I think they're
Saints.
Oh, I think I might have saw.
Western Michigan 5.
Yeah, Western Michigan. So yeah, they do have 5. My bad.
Saints have a minute and a half left.
This is the pick I traded yesterday to get Kyle Will.
Did you just hit your head on a metal pole?
No, that was I hit my ring on my desk.
Oh, okay. It was like the exact noise it would make if you like ran into like a stop sign.
Ding.
Wow, really running into that pole.
It's the sequel to the fish tank. Stop beating your head into the stop sign. With the 96th pick, oh my god. Of the 2022 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Emanuelu Tui Malealilfano, fullback, Alabama.
So we took him. We don't have a 4th. We figured he was going in the 4th. We didn't want to trade into a 4th. I like this pick here. Plus, our starting fullback walked to free agency and is considering retirement anyway, so I like it.
Yeah, I think he definitely would have gone in the 4th if he didn't go here. 3 is like kind of early. I probably would have traded back if I could, but who knows if anyone's trying to trade up.
Yeah.
All right, Atlanta is back on the clock. East Wolf is in here still, so he's probably not going to talk much.
I think we picked some.
Apparently people are happy that I had to pronounce the guy's name. Rome said it was the highlight of his weekend.
I'm not going to lie. I've been waiting this entire weekend to hear that name come up.
Fuck all of you, what the fuck?
Look, I've been trying to practice it because
Does that name even fit on a jersey?
Probably. The Falcons with the 97th pick have selected Marcus Terrell, defensive end, Illinois. The Dolphins are on the clock. Now Illinois has
Jesus
5.
Christ.
More Illinois.
He's a 75, but he's an early declaration and had 22.5 sacks in the last 2 years as a 4.5.
The Illinois defense was like one of the best we've ever had, I think. And I believe they're all graduating now. So this is like the end of it.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think Illinois is going to start into a offensive star quarterback now. So all that defense bought them a whole bunch of shiny offensive weapons. But I love the Terrell pick. I was afraid he was going to go early 4th. And since we have a comp 3rd, I just went ahead and said, do it. And we don't have much depth behind Early and Eric Jennings.
With the 98th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Jeremy Green, outside linebacker, Oklahoma. Panthers are now on the clock.
And that's who I wanted to take in the 4th.
Well, he's gone. This is the final pick, I think? Yes, this is the final pick today.
Barring
Are the rounds faster tomorrow again?
Yeah,
they should be for sure.
It's 5 minutes right now. I think it goes to 3 minutes, right?
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah.
We should just do like a group game of like fucking some, I don't know. I was for some reason not chess, but that might be the worst thing ever. Just play like a 5-player game so I can stream and we can just talk while the picks come up. Don't have to keep changing stuff. Final pick of today with the 99th pick. The Carolina Panthers select Damani Jeffries, cornerback, Texas. That concludes round 3.
So I believe all 3 of the comp picks were all early decks.
That's like
because I did a lot of scouting for like this mid-round stuff. Terrell was an early deck, I remember. Jeremy Green was an all who was an absolute monster at the coverage outside linebacker position. He was one of those jack of all trades, a few sacks, a few picks, a few forced fumbles, that kind of thing. Came out as a 75, really good. And then Damani Jeffries was the guy out of Texas. I didn't like him as much. He didn't show up as much.
Okay. Well, I'll let Alien take it over from here, I guess.
By the way, I just noticed if you guys are copying your player lines from the draft board.
Yeah, it doesn't have the locker room stuff for some reason.
Yeah, it doesn't have the locker room stuff. I don't know why. But all right. So tomorrow we're starting at the same time as we started today. Picks will be quicker, and it's mostly people that will probably never even play in the regular season for the most part, and fullbacks and kickers.
Oh god, we have to do 150 picks starting at 7 tomorrow? Rip.
Yeah, it usually goes pretty quick.
I mean, yeah,
but
they're 3 minutes.
hopefully everyone is actually here the whole time, so we don't have to wait through that shit. But so you guys got quite a bit of time to prepare for tomorrow. Make sure you guys are updating your team pages and your cap sheets. That will be checked shortly after the draft, so you should be doing it now. All right, we will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll have some more people on here for interviews. If you want to get an interview tomorrow, let me know on Discord, and we will try and get you in.
All right, with that, I will cut it short tonight so you guys are free. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Have a good night.
Right.
Nighty night.